Today we're going to be talking about our personal packs. So these are some of my favorite products that we make at Portage North. They're some of our smallest packs made for you as an individual to take on a day hike, to take to work on a day-to-day basis, or even use as a solo overnight pack. Some of these products, the Guide Pack 25 and the Guide Pack 38, are longtime mainstays here at our company. They've been made for 30 plus years, and they're a pack that you've seen around. They may have had a name such as Day Pack or Guide Pack in the past. The Trailblazer is a newer addition. It's made as a transition between a small personal pack and something like our more traditional Portage packs. Today we're going to look at how these three packs differ from each other, some of the features they have, and what makes them perfect for your individual adventure. So it's starting with our smallest. This is our Guide Pack 25. It's one of the smallest packs we make. The only thing smaller than it are our more day-to-day pack options, like a Wolf Pack or a Savoy Traveler Roll Top. As I've mentioned before, it's made out of the same 1000 denier Cordura. We make all of our packs out of the 1000 denier because to us it's important that no matter if you buy our cheapest pack, our most expensive pack, our smallest pack, our biggest pack, they're still made the same way with the same quality to make it so you can depend on your gear. Some companies will do a thing with, if you're buying a cheaper pack from them, it's maybe a thinner fabric, a lighter fabric, or it's made in ways that they cut corners to make that pack cheaper. For us, we don't want that. We want it so if you buy a small pack from us, you can trust it just as much as our most expensive bag. And because of that, if we look at this pack, it's made out of 1000 denier Cordura. It also has shoulder straps sewn just the same way our outfitter class is, where they're built into our packs. All of our packs are sewn with their shoulder straps built into this fold seam. You can read articles about it on our website. The point about this across the board is just simplify the design. There's less things for it to catch on the outside, and it's still a strong shoulder strap, a shoulder strap that will not fail. That's an important piece of engineering. You can read about it again on our website. All three of these packs have padded shoulder straps with the adjustable sternum strap, so you can move that up and down and clip it in as you need to. The padded shoulder straps obviously add that level of comfort to a pack that allows you to enjoy the adventures you take with this bag. You see it also has a hip belt sleeve. And so the hip belt sleeve, if you're using this as a pack to bring to work each day, you don't need a hip belt in it, correct? But like our Voyager series, we put this on, so if you'd like to have a hip belt, you can buy a hip belt from us. We make them specifically for the Guide Pack series that allow you to add that hip belt if you're using this as a pack in the wilderness, in the boundary waters, wherever your adventures take you. I, as a guide in the boundary waters, use packs very similar to this for myself, for my own gear, keep it separate from the group. And then it's great to have a hip belt because it has the same utility, same features as our full class Portage packs. If we look inside this bag, how it differs from a Portage pack is it adds some of that utility that you want out of a bag you're taking just on a day trip. What that means is, in each side of this pack, there is a 2-liter pocket, a zipper pocket. Could fit a Nalgene, can fit a first aid kit, things you want to get to quickly, like a Spot Gen or a Garmin InReach, something you want to be able to access. There's also a pocket on the front, large pocket. If we look inside of this pack, same thing that all our Portage packs have, it is sewn with taped seams. So this seems like a pretty simple feature. It's just a thin piece of fabric that covers this seam. But it's essential on a guide pack. So we still do repairs on old packs from time to time, and they come in to get repairs done. And one of the main things that I see fail on an old guide pack, and you'll know this if you have an old enough model, you'll see a hole develop along the base seams of the pocket. It's a fail spot. It's a high tension spot. It's where a whole bunch of seams come together. And even for a strong material like 1000 denier Cordura nylon, over time that seam will start to fray. And as that seam comes apart, as the material comes apart, it releases the seam, and you end up with holes along that edge. Taping means that exposed edge of nylon is no longer exposed, and the pack doesn't wear away that way, so we don't have the holes developing in the bottom of the pocket the same way we used to. And it's part of our continuous improvement, looking for ways to make this pack just a little bit better next month, the next year, 10 years down the line. All of these packs behind me have the side pockets. They're a number 8 zipper, YKK zipper, heavy duty, made to take the rigors of a wilderness trip, and then have the flap over top to keep some of the mud and gunk out of that zipper line. Whatever adventures you go on, I know adventures are not always clean, right? You can get into mud, you can get into sand. Those things eat up zippers like nothing else. So to be able to keep some of that out of this zipper track is really key, really important. And the fact that we use a heavy zipper is a big deal. And then at the top of this pack, you have a cinch strap that allows you to close off the top so that you can tuck it underneath the top flap and expect that nothing you don't want in this pack is going in this pack. And then same way as all of our Portage packs, you have a top loop, just adds access to carry. Moving up to the Guide Pack 38, it's identical to the 25 from so many of its features, it's just that 30% bigger. With that, you get a little more space for whatever your adventures might be. If you want this as a solo overnight pack, for instance, for a couple nights, you have the room to do that. But otherwise, it's pretty much identical to the 25. Features are the same. 3 pockets, made of the same materials, made in the same way. But as we move up to the Trailblazer, I think of our Trailblazer as essentially a bells and whistles version of our personal packs. So it takes a pack, like our guide pack, and moves it up closer to your Outfitter series, closer to the Outfitter series we make. What I mean by that is, first off, it's, again, a good bit bigger than either of the guide packs, making it have more space for those longer adventures. But then we add the features that are needed to make it comfortable too, function really well too. The hip belt comes standard on the Trailblazer. And if we look at that hip belt, you can get an idea. It's pretty simple but still adjustable, dual adjust buckle. The shoulder straps are padded just like they are in the guide pack. But then we have added, in the Trailblazer, you get a padded back. Why is that key? Well, first off, in a pack that has now gotten just that little bit bigger than the guide packs, it's amazing how much a padded back adds structure to the pack. So it holds its own shape relatively well. It also allows you that flexibility of if you have sharp things, if you have hard things like a pair of boots in this pack, it adds that padding to prevent that from jabbing into your back. We've all been there, right? We've taken a trail, we've taken a backpacking trip that we didn't pack well. A padded back adds you some of that flexibility to combat that. Also, adding a little bit more utility. So on the guide packs, we had the side pockets. Trailblazer does that as well. And then the pocket in the front here. But then the Trailblazer also has a lid pocket. So the lid pocket extends all the way up to the top seam, all the way down to the bottom of the lid. It's a lot of space to put things that you want quick access to. This is an awesome pocket for things like sunscreen, things like a multi-tool, things like a compass. But it also gives you just a little more space. And so if this pack was just a lid, that lid is doing a great job protecting the contents, but also not adding a utility by itself. What we want these Portage packs to be, what we want these personal packs to be, are a pack that can be any sort of adventure you're imagining. So it has the room, the utility to be used on more than just a narrow use. Like a bike bag might just be used for biking, but a utility-based pack that gives you lots of different options, lots of different uses is really great. Looking inside, it's made just like the guide packs are. It has the cinch strap at the top to close off. It has the taped seams to prevent the nylon from fraying and then eventually wearing away. For me, this is one of my favorite products we make here at Portage North. It has so much utility, as I mentioned, but it also has a really classic look, a really unique look all its own. And so a lot of, obviously your classic Portage pack, right, is just a green bag, a forest green bag, and that serves its purpose really well. But for a little more flair and to be able to spot this bag on a Portage, the color options on this are all two-tones, so you can choose green and gray, blue and gray, and then blaze orange and black. Those two-tone options give you just that little more flair for a pack than just a standard one-color pack would. And it also, as I said, adds the effectiveness of if I have a brightly colored pack, I'm not forgetting it at the end of the Portage. It can happen to the best of us. Gear gets left behind, especially if we get distracted. And so colors allow you to spot that well. Other than that, these 3 packs, as I said, all allow you to do adventures solo. There are some flexibilities. You start moving up into this. It's a slightly bigger pack. People could use it as things like a small food pack. Along that line, these are personal packs. I love the flexibility to take adventures by myself if I have to. Obviously, I love going out with a group, love having a group of friends along on a trip, but not every trip can be that way. If I go down a personal trip, especially in the middle of the summer with gear is pretty compact, a Outfitter 98, Outfitter 85, that's a lot of gear. And if I have the opportunity, if I can own more than one pack, obviously I want a big pack that I can take a group out with. But I also love having a personal pack along that allows me the flexibility to say, I'm going out on a trip this week by myself. Here's the gear. I can fit it in a pack like a Trailblazer and take my trip and know I have a pack I can depend on. It's going to function well. It's going to cover me as an individual and not be so big that I have an unwieldy amount of extra pack or that it makes it hard for me to portage a canoe and a pack at the same time. So that's all for today. Here's our 3 Portage packs. If you have any questions about our personal packs, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to talk, help you make that decision to decide which of these packs is best for the use that you're hoping for, and see you on the trail.